Hey YouTube, it's Chris. Welcome back to the YouTube journey. Today on the YouTube journey, we're doing something, and it's another top 10. But I want to warn you guys now, this is a huge spoiler warning for any of the games I talk about. So if you have not played them, you have been warned. Do not watch this video. I'm spoiling huge plot points, major spoilers. Do not watch this if you don't want anything spoiled, because I'm going to just say everything. I do not care. But if you do, turn the video off, because we're talking major spoilers here. Okay, so today we're actually going to be doing my top 10, I don't really know if you can call it a top 10, because they're like not good things, but they are the 10, in my opinion, saddest moments in video games that I have played up to this point in time. Yes, I'm going to probably repeat from some series and even from some games. I'm probably going to put more than one from a game in, just because there's scenes from some of these games that are just so good, and I couldn't just limit it to one per game. So I didn't want to limit myself. So I put all my favorites. So without further ado, number 10. Number 10 is Goofy's death. I thought I would put something on here that was kind of funny and not really a death. Are these, I think all of these are deaths, right? I don't even remember. I think they're all deaths. They just, well no, one of them isn't, but they're all really sad moments. Most of them happen to be deaths because those are usually like the saddest points in most games. But first one is Goofy's death in Kingdom Hearts 2, where that small fraction of a time where Goofy gets hit on the head with a rock, and then he's just out of your party and everything, and you're like, well, I guess Goofy's dead. Like, and it's like it hits you and you're like, what the heck? And then he's immediately back and fine, but like, it's just a really funny, almost sad moment where it's like, oh my god, did we just get rid of the only party member here that I like? Because nobody likes Donald. He doesn't heal, he uses all his magic on like a skill that doesn't even do damage, and then he's just sitting there not being able to do anything. No one likes Donald in Kingdom Hearts. He's terrible. He gets better as the games go on. They kind of fixed him a little, at the very least. But I just think it was a funny thing to put as a choice on this as my number 10, because honestly I could only think of 9. Okay, now number 9. This one is actually serious, and it might not seem serious, but this is when your horse Aggro dies in Shadow of the Colossus. You're climbing up the mountain to the final Colossi of the Colossi in the game to go and fight it, and you're climbing up these cliffs with your horse, and your horse falls into like a canyon, and it's like really sad because you kind of grow along in that game and you really don't have any interaction with any human beings or anything, and really only interactions you have in that whole game are just with that horse, and you gain some kind of like friendship with that horse in a weird way, even though there's no speech in the game, at least from your character or the horse, of course, that rhymes. But I just thought it was a really powerful and touching moment. Not really crazy sad, not really like I'm crying, I can't hold it together kind of sad, but just like, wow, like you get like an emotional attachment to this almost character that really isn't a character. And I just thought that was a really special thing, because not every game can pull that off very well. Oh, number 8. Now, number 8 is the entire ending scene of Final Fantasy VIII. For those of you who haven't played Final Fantasy VIII, the end of the game, you basically, the main character Squall, who is over there. There he is, see? There he is. He kind of gets stuck in this dimension between dimensions, because the end of the game, you're fighting this sorceress, Ultimecia, who travels between dimensions and kind of is just trying to destroy the world. And you kind of get, he himself only gets like stuck between dimensions, and it's a really emotional and powerful scene, and his love interest in the game, Renoa, kind of rescues him, because she's also a sorceress, but not an evil, like crazy dimensional traveling sorceress. But it's a really powerful scene, and you finally see Squall, who's kind of edgy throughout the game, but almost edgy to a fault, where everyone's like, Squall, why are you being so edgy? We like you. And he's like, no, you guys don't like me. But like, they love Squall. He's a good guy. He just pretends he isn't. But he kind of accepts it finally, and he accepts that he loves Renoa and everything, and it's a really powerful moment, and it always spoke to me, and I cry every time I beat that game. And I've played Final Fantasy VIII like 9 or 10 times already, because it's just so good. Not everybody likes it because the battle system's a little odd, and you kind of, it can customize your characters however you want. I think that's really cool. I think that's really different than most of the Final Fantasy games, which I love them all. But most of the Final Fantasy games, you really don't get that, as you do in 8, where you really can do whatever you want, and it's really different, and I like that about it. Number 7 is Axel's death in Kingdom Hearts 2. See, there we go, already 2 from Kingdom Hearts 2. So now you guys know I wasn't kidding about the 2 from a game. It's a really powerful and sad moment because you grow really attached to Axel by the end of that. By the time you get to Kingdom Hearts 2, you see him and you fight him in Chain of Memories, or Re-Chain of Memories, I guess, is what most of you would play, and don't want to play the Game Boy one, it's not that good. But Re-Chain of Memories, and you get really, you like him in that game because he's a likable character. He's kind of evil, kind of anti-hero-ish, and you like him. And then you play 358 over 2 days, and you really grow to love Axel, and you feel for him almost because Roxas is gone. And then in Kingdom Hearts 2, he basically switches sides and leaves the Nobodies to join you and help Sora, because he knows that Sora is Roxas. And he sacrifices himself, and it's just such a, hold on, there we go, and it's just such a powerful moment where he even refers to Sora as if he's Roxas, and it shows his almost inability to accept that Roxas is gone, which, I mean, I wouldn't be able to accept that my best friend just kind of ceased to exist because he wasn't supposed to exist. It's insane how, like, meaningful and deep Kingdom Hearts lore gets. It's crazy. If you haven't played them, once again, I just did a video on this. Please watch it. Kingdom Hearts is an amazing series, and I can only begin to tell you of how insane and amazing it gets. I tried to keep the why I love Kingdom Hearts videos as spoiler-free as possible, but this video, I already said, I'm going to say whatever I want. Please play those games if you have not. It's so worth your time, so worth the money. So worth whatever. You want to emulate them, go ahead. I don't really support that. I really shouldn't support that. It's not technically a legal thing, but like, any way you can play Kingdom Hearts, please do. It's really hot in here, so if I look kind of sweaty and flustered, it's because it's really hot. And I want to put the fan on because it'll be loud. Oh my goodness, 2 Kingdom Hearts ones in a row. Number 6 is Shion's death from Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2 is the correct way to say that. I don't know why it's called that. Listen, I didn't name these games. Square Enix did. Why did they name them like this? I don't know. Listen, I don't ask these questions. I just love these games. Okay, that's all I do. But you gain such an attachment to Shion in such a short period of time because she isn't even introduced at the beginning of the game. She's introduced pretty quickly into the game, but still, she's not the main character, but you just garner such a friendship. Maybe even you think Roxas and her have feelings for each other. Whatever you want to think. I'm not going to spoil your theorizing and whatever, but there's something between them, a friendship, feelings, and that scene is so emotional and powerful. And of course, out of all of it, you get the powerful and painfully touching scene of Roxas questioning and asking Shion. I'll just leave a blank here for you guys for me to play the audio clip because it hurts. And I've seen people meme it before where they're like, oh, haha, but like, whoa. Like, that is a powerful thing. I don't know if people realize how powerful that scene is when they make fun of it. Like, who will I have ice cream with? But like, Shion was the only friend Roxas had besides Axel, and Roxas thought that Axel was dead for a long time because everybody who went to Castle Oblivion and was gone and thought to be dead, killed by Sora. He didn't know who Sora was, but he soon learns in Kingdom Hearts 2 that he's supposed to be part of Sora. Another really sad moment that I didn't put on this list because I thought there'd be too many things from Kingdom Hearts 2. There's lots of Kingdom Hearts on this list, but I didn't want to just make half of this list Kingdom Hearts 2.
Shion! Who else will I have ice cream with?
Okay, number 5. Now, on like sad moments in games, I almost always see this, at least with people who play retro and RPG type of games. I'm just gonna say it and get it out of the way. Aerith's death from Final Fantasy VII is a huge, and cinematically and gameplay-wise and story-wise, it affects you as a person. Aerith is so sweet and nice and caring and gentle and such an amazing character that Cloud garners a friendship or maybe love depending on how you play the game. I don't do that. I pick Tifa because Tifa is the true waifu. It's true. I'm sorry guys, but Aerith is not. Sorry. But that scene is powerful. And then of course with Cloud just carrying her in his arms and dropping her into the water and she slowly floats down, which game theory was like, oh, that can't happen, but like, shut up, it's all cinematography and stuff like that. Like, that's a powerful moment. And just the sword, Sephiroth just piercing his giant 6-foot long sword right through her, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like he tried to force Cloud to kill her, and then just, to spite Cloud, just drops down in front of him and kills her anyway. It's like, nope, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make you even angrier at me. It's like, what the heck? Her last moments were like, oh my god, is Cloud gonna kill me? And then just, dead. Like, whoa. It's powerful stuff. It's an emotionally painful moment for me. I remember the first time playing that game, I didn't know. Most people, at least in this day and age, go into that game knowing Aerith dies. Knowing, okay, as much as Aerith is a good healer, a good support character, she's gonna die. You don't have to sink so much, of your time into Aerith. You can use your other characters, use Yuffie, use Tifa, use Barret, use Red 13. Go and get Vincent for all I care, the weird emo vampire guy. Like, go for him. He's cool. But as a kid, I didn't know that. I used Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith usually. Like, and then for just gone. Like that. Gone from your party, gone from everything. It's like, whoa, that doesn't usually happen in games. You don't just like, up till that point, the game came out in 97. Up until that point, that didn't really happen, like, in popular games, where you just, like, in story, based games, where you just kind of eliminate a character and they're gone for good. It's a powerful thing, and not every game did it. Games now, of course, do it, but at the time it was such a shocking moment, almost, that it was almost alien to people to just do something like that. Number 4. Number 4 is, as it's named, even the cutscene is named that, I'm pretty sure, is Sora's sacrifice from Kingdom Hearts 1. Sora finds out that not only Kairi's heart, but the other princesses of heart, all of their hearts are stored in his, because he has a heart of pure light, and they've been stored in his. And Riku's Keyblade of Darkness that is made to open and unlock hearts, he picks it up and just right into his chest. And everybody's warning him not to do it. Goofy and Don look like they're gonna cry. It's a really emotionally painful moment, because you look at it and you go, oh my god, is he gonna... And then he just flat out does it like it's nothing. And as a kid, you're like, oh, what? I remember seeing that scene, and almost... I did cry as a kid. I was emotionally broken when that happened for the first time. And of course now I see it and I still cry, but I know that, there's like 50 other games. But when I played Kingdom Hearts, there wasn't like a Kingdom Hearts 2 or like 50 other games. There was just Kingdom Hearts. I thought it was over. I thought that was the end of the game. I had just recently played Final Fantasy VII for the first time, so I thought Square Enix was just really good at killing characters, and I thought the game was going to end there. It was a long game by that point. You just fought Riku. I thought that would be the final boss. It's an emotionally painful moment, and for those seconds where Kairi is finally fine and she goes to catch Sora as he's dropping and he just vanishes into light and his heart disappears, like when the Heartless kill somebody and you just watch it happen and you're like, oh my god, the main character's dead. What? It emotionally scarred me for a long time, and then he's back and he's a Heartless, and Kairi tries to protect him and hug him and she loves him, so he turns back into Sora and it's like, yay, hooray. But for those, few minutes, you're like, oh my god, Sora's dead. Like, that's it, it's gone. Like, this is it. That's the end of the game. Like, what? You can't kill Sora. I like him. It's too much. Hi, Brian. What? So, number 3. Number 3 is a slightly more different one that it's harder for me to get into. But it's Hinawa's death from Mother 3. Now, you're probably saying, who's Hinawa? Here he goes talking about this game that's never come out in the US again. I'm going to talk about it a lot. It's a really good game, okay? Just play it. I've told you already. Play the game. Okay, so Hinawa is the main character, Lucas. You know him from Smash Brothers. He is... Where is he? He's here. He's this kid's mom. Him. See? The kid who looks like Jimmy Neutron with blonde hair. Him. So, his mom dies in the very beginning of the game. The game doesn't start with his mom dead. You get to garner a slight relationship with his mom, feel how much she loves her son, and how much he loves her and the family, and there's a whole family. I'm not going to get too into it because as much as I would love to spoil the whole game, Lucas has a brother, Klaus. He's his twin brother. He has red hair. He has a dad who looks like Chuck Norris. I don't know why, but who knows. But it's just a really emotional scene when the dad finds out that his wife is dead, and the kids are sitting in front of them because they had fell into the river and gotten lost during a forest fire. And so they're sitting in front of a fire, and they tell the dad that they found the mother dead. And just the emotion you feel from an 8-bit, maybe I would say 16-bit, like a 16-bit game of just a bunch of pixels on a screen, and he just picks up wood from the fire and starts beating it, and he starts beating the crap out of all the people around him at the fire, and they're like, your kids are watching. His kids are like really young, younger than he is there at the time, and it's crazy. It's such an emotionally scarring moment for those kids and even for the dad, and you just like feel it, like really feel it. I've said this before, I don't know how they get such amazing, emotional, powerful music, like sounds, to come out of a Game Boy, but Mother 3 does it somehow. Who knows? But they do it, and it hurts. Like, I'm gonna cry talking about this scene because it's so emotionally powerful. Oh, Mother 3, listen guys, please play it. I beg you to play it, and you'll understand what I mean. It's so worth it. I will play it on the channel at one point once I have, a good computer and good stuff for that. I will gladly play it on the channel. You can watch me cry, because I will definitely cry. It's an amazing game, and it damages me emotionally, but like in a good way, where I'm like, oh my god, I feel for these characters. I feel their sadness. It's amazing. Number 2. Okay, now, this game almost didn't come out here in America, but it did. And I'm so happy it did. It's one of my favorite games. Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. You can also play it on the Wii U. The sequel's on the Switch. Maybe they'll put a port of the original onto the Switch. That would be super nice of them. Please and thank you. I like Xenoblade a lot. Please make it HD, because the graphics are not good on that Wii game at all. But the main character, Shulk, you know him from Smash Brothers. He looks... It's a good thing I have these things, because, he looks like this. He's got that sword and everything. He's got the blonde hair and the weird stuff, and he talks and stuff. He's a cool guy. He's very, halfway between British and Australian sounding, and that game is so emotional. His representation of Smash Brothers made me so happy, but he's so goofy in that, and he is goofy. But his girlfriend dies in the beginning of that game. Fiora is her name, and it's freaking emotional. It's sad. He didn't use that sword up until that exact moment where his girlfriend dies, and he picks it up because you're not supposed to use it. It'll kill you. The guy who was originally supposedly the wielder was killing him because he wasn't actually supposed to be the wielder of it. And he grabs that thing and tries to murder the thing that killed his girlfriend, and oh my god. And you play for a little while with him and his best friend and the girlfriend all together in like a party, and you battling monsters and stuff, and you're like, this is awesome. And then the girlfriend just dies, and he gets the Minato, and you're like, oh my god. The Minato's the red sword, by the way. But I have never been so damaged before. And you watch this, they're called mechons, these huge robot things, and it has these claws, and it pulls them up out of the thing that she's in, and they're covered in blood, and you're like, oh my god, it just killed her. What? And he just goes nuts hitting the thing with the Minato, just slashing at it like no tomorrow. It's crazy. It's nuts. And it's so emotional. You just feel the emotion of him screaming at this monster and wanting to kill it. He screams, I'll kill you immediately, and picks up the sword. God, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. It's crazy. I've never been so emotionally invested from... I always say about Xenoblade, play the game. You play a few hours in, and the scene's gonna happen, and from then on you're gonna be so emotionally invested in the game you're not gonna want to stop playing until you play all 100 hours of that game. And it'll do that to you. I promise it will. It'll happen, and you hit that point, and you just hit the ground running with that game, and you won't want to stop playing, because now you have that same like mindset of, I need to defeat these things. I need to help Shulk defeat these things and save in his girlfriend's honor. Crazy. Oh my gosh. You all need to play Xenoblade. There's a list. This is basically just a list of games you guys need to play. Do it. Thank you. Okay, we're on to number one. Number one, oh my goodness, so is another one from Mother 3, and I know you're saying, okay, Chris, come on, like, this game isn't that great. This game is in 8 chapters, and the chapters are really long, like hours and hours and hours of playing. Chapter 6, though, is maybe 6 minutes. Lucas, I'm not going to really get into how it happens, but he ends up in a giant field of sunflowers. It's called Chapter 6 Sunflower Fields. He ends up in this giant field of sunflowers, which you learn in the game are his mother's favorite flower. And he ends up in this field, and he's just looking around, and then he finds his dog, Boney, who's actually a main character and a party member in the game, which is really cool, and I like that about the game, is his dogs. The dog's with you through the whole game. Like, yes. That's the kind of game I like. A dog can be part of the game, that's what I need. More of that. More of that, thank you. But, you find the dog, and you're walking, and the dog starts boning. He starts barking, and he runs ahead of you. And you walk, and it's like your mother's ghost, and she's floating there. And it's so emotional, and the music is playing, and she's floating above and you keep following her through the fields, and you can like feel this emotion in the music especially. You just feel this emotion, and you're slowly going, and then she's like floating over a cliff, and you and the dog following after you just jump off the cliff, and the chapter ends. And it's so like I didn't know that games could do that to me, where I would just be so emotionally invested in these characters that I would literally break down crying at this kid and how much he misses his mother. It's crazy how emotionally invested I got in that game and how much it meant to me. The whole game. I haven't lost that many family members. I've lost friends. I've had people in my life who have died. I haven't lost really family members, but for anybody who's lost anybody, that scene is so emotionally jarring. It just opens up all those feelings you have about this person who's gone, whoever it is, and it beats them like with a mallet. Oh my god. But I have never honestly enjoyed a game, emotionally enjoyed a game more than I enjoyed Mother 3. You owe it to yourself to sit down and enjoy that game. I'm crying just thinking about this. I'm not even looking at this footage that you're probably seeing on the screen if I did editing good. If I didn't do editing good, then you won't, but I'm gonna try my best. It is emotionally jarring, that whole scene, and most of that game is emotionally jarring. The themes of that game and everything about it just hurts my heart, but in like a good way, because you know that these feelings you're feeling and these thoughts you're thinking are because of the game provoking them. And you're like, I always have argued that video games are an art form. I'm an artist myself. I like to draw, I like to paint, I like to do a lot of things. But I have always argued that video games are an art form because I have never felt more emotion from a piece of art than I have from playing a video game. Video games make you feel things. And there is nothing in the world that you could say that could tell me different. You play Mother 3, and if you feel nothing, I don't know what's wrong with you. You might just not have read anything while playing the game and just mash through the text. But that game is emotionally jarring, and you owe it to yourself to play it. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening to me ramble about these games that mean so much to me emotionally. It means a lot, and it's hard to not just talk about the things that you love and the things that make you sad, make you, maybe not sad, but make you cry, make you feel things. Because this is an outlet for me, this whole YouTube thing. It's an outlet for my emotions, it's an outlet for my day-to-day activities, it's an outlet for my thoughts and feelings on things. And that's what I'm doing now. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Starnar. But you can call me Chris, because that is my name. I'll see you all in the next one. Signing off.